Morning. Happy Monday. Can't believe it's August 10th. Welcome to another Monday Mindset. Give it a second for you guys to be able to jump on here. Want to talk today. I just got off a call. I usually on Mondays have a morning call with my senior sales team. So these are kind of my best closers across the organization. And we always look at how we're converting our internet paid leads. So leads that are coming into the company, how are we converting them? And what are the best closers doing differently than the normal group of closers, and what can we tweak and improve upon? And so I thought today would be good to talk about lead conversion because most of the time we don't have a lead problem. We have a lead conversion problem, which usually stems from a couple different things. I'm going to give you my experience on what I've learned in lead conversion over the years. So a little bit of my background. So I run Reminder Media, as you guys know. So have, across all my teams, maybe 150 callers at this point on the phone, different teams. So I have a team selling paid advertising and digital marketing. I have a team selling postcard marketing. I have a team selling magazines, of course. And then I have some upsell teams that are kind of cross-selling. Heavy dials. So most of my 150 will make 200 dials a day or 3+ hours of phone time is what they will do a day. So we're a heavy dial call center, converting internet paid leads and conference leads and some other, maybe webinar leads and various different lead funnels. What I have found, number one thing that will drive conversion for you guys, if I'm giving you kind of my top ones that I've learned over the years, number one is your cadence on the lead, specifically not just like when you're calling and being really selective and strategic, but literally just how many times you're actually hitting the lead. Most people severely underhit their lead. When the lead comes in, they don't call enough, they don't email enough, they don't text enough. Maybe they're just calling, they're not sending an email, they're not sending a text, they're not trying to find them on social media. So what will improve your lead conversion immediately is just upping the amount of calls and the amount of outreach you're doing to a lead. I don't know statistically, what the numbers are across the industry. I know for us, like we want to see these leads hit 8 to 9 times really over a few days. We want to see these leads hit for phone calls alone. That's not counting text. That's not counting email, voicemails, things like that. So we are hitting these leads. We usually won't shut down a warm lead until we call it at least 12 times and we hit it with text messages and emails. We have just found, and you might find it a little different for your leads, we've just found that a lot of times people just don't answer because they can't answer in that moment, but it's not because they don't want to talk to you. And we also find that there's this buyer's journey that people go through where they're curious, they requested information, then they get a little bit annoyed because you keep reaching out to them. But if you give up then all you were was just annoying. All you were was just a waste of time because you never exchanged any value. But if you keep going, you'll enter into the respect phase where it's like they were curious, then they got a little annoyed because you keep reaching out, you keep calling, and then you get them on the phone and they respect you because one, you gave them value, and two is you didn't give up. You kept following up. And so I would just encourage you that you're probably not calling your leads or reaching out enough. And it's probably because there's this voice in your head, I don't want to come across the wrong way, I don't want to be aggressive. And you always got to flip that switch and go, no, I'm just passionate. I'm passionate about giving the information to this person that they requested and helping this person. That's why, a lot of sales, if not majority of sales, is psychology. It is your confidence and your ability to actually deliver, consistently over and over again. But that confidence and that psychology plays into your heart posture and how you're making the calls. And it's so easy for me, at least, to talk myself out of like, oh, I'm being annoying right now. And, these people are not going to like my calls because, I'm being annoying to them. You got to up your intensity and your level of cadence of calls. You can get into how you call and when you call. We have messed with that over the years and have not really seen a significant amount of difference for us. The other thing that's been interesting is everybody raves about speed to lead and how fast you get to a lead. It's like a common thing you hear from all the salespeople out there and coaches and stuff like that. It has made hardly any difference in our business. Now, we're selling marketing, So we're B2B, we're not B2C. So it could be that B2C, it's much better. So chime in if you've had a significant increase because you have reached out within 30 seconds. We actually, in the latest, because every so often, right, I hear the gurus, just like everybody else says, okay, we got to get back to the speed to lead. We really need to hit these people. And what's interesting, in our last test, in the last 90 days, our last test in speed to lead, we were actually closing worse on the ones that we got on the phone immediately. And I thought that was just very interesting. I'm not sure why that is, but it just was very interesting to me. So speed to lead really hasn't affected for us, even though I want it to. And it's something that you hear everybody coach and say, but for our call center and sales team, it just really has not made that big of a difference. In fact, in the recent one, it actually made us worse, which was weird. So more, it's like you can get insightful and I'm going to call today, I'm going to call in the afternoon tomorrow. All those things can make slight differences. We have not found significant difference in strategically doing the cadence. The main thing that matters is that you're hitting the lead enough, and you're not giving up too soon. Second biggest thing that we see when it comes to lead conversion would be scripting. So I used to be, and this is a recent conversion for me, no pun intended. I used to be an essence-based environment where I believe sales is both a science and an art, where you have the science of the sale, and that's your cadence, and that's, maybe you're scripting a little bit, but you have the art of the sale. So you can teach somebody the fundamentals of basketball, but they'll never be LeBron James or Michael Jordan without the essence and without the art. And I still believe that that's true, but as I've grown sales teams, I realize that I am putting a lot more weight and significance now on the actual science over the essence. I was more of an essence-based guy that I'm going to teach you the fundamentals of basketball, but you got to get out there and play. You've got to have the art and the passion and the talent. Now I'm way more on the science, where it's McDonald's doesn't have the best burger, but they sell the most of them. So yes, maybe you could be a better salesman on a certain call if you veered off script and you just did your own thing. But the reality is, as human beings, I don't know why we're like this. We just are. When we don't have a process in a script to follow and doing the same thing over and over again, we just get lost, man. It is just crazy watching the salespeople. It's like they're really good. Then they do even better because they add these little one-liners to their pitch to overcome an objection or something like that. Now they think that's the gold. And before they know it, they have this hodgepodge of a script of all these different one-liners and different things. And it's just convoluted. And here's what gets worse is when they get into a rut or when they don't close, they don't know what to change and what's working and what's not working. I have found it's like the tortoise beats the hare. If you stay scripted and you actually take the time to do the hard work, which is, I'm going to script this out, and it's going to work on 60% of the calls. And there's going to be 40% of the calls that have a nuance to it, but it's not really, they're all different. There's just another segment that I need to have another script that's very similar to this one, where it's basically, you think of the tree, it's like comes down, if they say this, you go here, if they say this, you go here. You've got to script out the majority, if not all, of the nuance that comes in the pitch. And it's like, hey, this is what you're going to hear. You're going to hear these 3 to 4 things almost every call. And when you hear this one, you go here. When you hear this one, you go here. You've got to script it out so the team and you can repeat it over and over and over again, even down to the objections. Like if we were being real right now and I asked you, I said, hey, what are the top 3 objections that you get? Could you list them? You probably could. Do you have an objection handler scripted out for that you do every single time when you get that objection? And the answer is probably no, you don't. And I'm telling you, in my years of building sales teams, you need to have that. That is what we are pushing more and more into because, it depends what your goal is. But for our goal, man, I want to have 1,000 callers on the phone. I want to be international and reaching every industry. So in order to get there, I can't have everybody making the Big Mac different every McDonald's. Everybody's got to make it the same way every time. And that's actually how you get scale, efficiency, how you iterate. And it feels slower at first. It feels worse at first. But in the long run, you're going to win. So the chef might make the better burger down at the local level. Like you might be this amazing sales unicorn that can make this amazing hamburger. But the reality is McDonald's is kicking your butt in the money they make because they do it the same way every time and they have a pretty good hamburger. So if you can figure out that pretty good Big Mac and just do it the same every time, That is what has helped us tremendously in conversion. And why? I'll go back to my thesis. Number one thing that affects a sale or affects the sale, in my mind, is the confidence and psychology of the caller. That's the number one thing. The confidence and psychology of the caller. So why I believe so much more today in what I opened up with of volume of how much you hit the lead and scripting and staying to the process is because no matter what your emotions are doing, your confidence and psychology, you know what to execute. But if you are more gut-based, intuition-based, talent-based, when your emotions are going like this, when you've had a bad day, when something in your personal life has happened, when a bill has come up, whatever it is, what happens to you is you lose confidence and you lose real confidence because guess what? Now you don't have that intuition firing, that sales gut firing. But if you had a terrible day, like the worst thing possible happens to you, like you find out your spouse is cheating on you, the next day, guess what you can show up and do? You can do volume of calls and you can do the script. That's what you can do. You can sit down and do the fundamentals over and over and over again, no matter what your emotions are going through, and the tortoise beats the hare. It's just, that's what wins in the long run, especially if you're trying to do scale, especially if you're trying to grow a sales team. If you're not trying to grow a sales team, okay, you might be able to get away with it because you're a talented basketball player, right? Or a talented sales professional in essence. But if you're trying to grow anything significant, you need that ultimately. Okay, and these things, lead conversion, I think are affected by these things. The third thing I would give you is I was just talking to one of my senior callers Friday, because yesterday was Sunday. Friday, that's been in a rut. So good caller, been with us a long time, hard worker, person of integrity, good closer, not closing, just in a rut. And I asked them, they had an income goal. They wanted to make $175,000 this year. And I said, okay, awesome. Very possible. We have people doing that and way more than that. So it's very possible. I said, okay, have you done the math? How many sales does it take you to get to 175? And they didn't know that number instantaneously. I go, okay, so you don't know that number, but let's imagine you know that number. Do you know how many calls it takes you to get a deal? Do you know what your conversion rate is? And I said, they didn't know these numbers. And I said, look, I'm not beating you up and trying to coach you up right now. You're wanting to go to Disneyland and you have no idea of where Disneyland is. You have no idea of the vehicle that you're going to use to get there and how you're going to get there. And you have no idea what the vehicle takes, like gas, to actually get you to Disneyland. You're literally wandering the back roads of Texas right now because that's where this person lives. And you're upset and you're in a rut and you're discouraged because you're looking for Disneyland, but you have no plan. And the reason why I say this affects conversion, because again, my thesis, the number one thing that affects conversion is psychology and confidence of the caller. And in order to affect your confidence, you have to have the target, and you have to have a target that you know, because you can't hit something that you don't know. And it was just shocking to me of going like, here you are discouraged in a rut and you have this goal. So you have the goal. Awesome. Good for you. But you have no idea what it takes to actually get to the goal. And that's a huge problem because, again, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have adversity. And when you have adversity and you have the ups and downs and you're not feeling it today for whatever reason, you can wake up and go, hey, I know my math says I have to call 206 people and I have to convert at 12% and I have to do these things in order to hit my goal of getting to Disneyland. And so when I lay my head at night on my pillow, can I be confident that maybe the result wasn't there yet? Maybe I didn't make it to Disneyland yet, but I actually did the fundamentals that it takes to get me there. And these are the people who win in life. The people who win in life are the most persistent. The people who win in life are the most intentional. That's really the reality. Is they're not the most talented, they're not the smartest, they're not the best looking. They are the ones who are the most persistent and the most intentional. They know what they want, they keep going after it, and they have this resilience about them. At least this has been my experience. Chat in if you agree or not agree, but this has been my experience. So lead conversion, we all need it. Leads aren't the problem. You're the problem, right? There's no bad leads, as they say. And the problem that I see with most people is they lack in the amount of volume they're doing to hit the lead. So they lack in follow-up. They lack in staying on a process because they want to believe they're the Michael Jordan of sales and they want to just be able to fly by the seat of their pants. And most of the time that does not work. And then 3, they don't actually have the target. And when you don't have the target, you can't reverse engineer what it takes in daily activity to hit that target. If you fix those 3 things, you'll improve your conversion. Promise you that. So hopefully this Monday Mindset was helpful for you guys. Get out there and win for you. for your clients, for your family. Appreciate you guys tuning in every week. Let's go make it happen this week. Let's have a great one. See ya.